Right. Standing ovation for this outfit. Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. And here we are for another episode of the series behind my living arts collections. So we have this David Bowie Labyrinth Goblin King inspired outfit. Probably my favorite of the masculine David Bowie style looks that I've ever done. So here we are. All right. So before I talk about my next collection, look at, I love this. I love this fit, this velvet jacket I got from Velvet Jelly Vintage. Is my girl from Windshine, Marissa. So Mars, she had Windshine. She still has her vintage reselling, which is now Velvet Jelly, I believe. The name fucks with me. But I got this jacket from her. And when I first got it, it actually fit like pretty tight. And I was like, I'm just gonna fucking make it work. And I'm not too sure why, but it's like formed to my body in a perfect way. But it's giving it is such a David Bowie like jacket. There's a few looks that I did that were very My Chem Black Parade, which there's nothing wrong with that. But this is, I don't know. I really love the like feminized, maybe, I don't know. It is a masked femme Goblin King fit. I would describe. I'm not too sure if that's accurate to, the gender police out there, but fashion wise, I would definitely give this everything. So I have my boots. Like these boots were worth the purchase just for this outfit. Love everything about it. So this was one of my other fits that I was thinking about before. I went very ball gown Sarah for the Labyrinth Goth prom. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that this hasn't like debuted out in public. I feel like I need another I need another Labyrinth Goth prom just to rock this. But I'm starting to embrace wearing stuff like this just to go to the grocery store or whatever it is. Or I'm just going to continue to yap and yap and yap on YouTube. So I have an excuse to show off my outfits, especially with the pop collar. Super. But anyway, my husband thinks that my outfits are ridiculous. And I love that for both of us. It puts him out of his comfort zone and shows him that it's okay for him to have his unique fashion sense. His mother told me, it's so funny. This is my favorite childhood stories about Chad. So when he was in kindergarten, I don't know, I can't remember if he got sent home, but I do know that there was like a disciplinary something or another. It was like kindergarten, first grade, but they called his mom and they were like, you do understand that your son has two different colored shoes on. And she goes, yeah, he made that choice himself. My husband there is his own eccentric, very blue collar, masculine, black metal Capricorn. He has a unique style. And a full spectrum of it too. Which I love. I love that we're both full spectrums of masculine and feminine planes. I'm definitely a field of flowers. And he loves flowers, so I think that that's fun. And then he is a spectrum of wilderness and forestry. And there's various types of wilderness. My husband is definitely wilderness, where I am garden. I'm garden fairy, and he is wilderness beast. And I love that for us. But anyway, he's gonna just love this. And I say that with all the love in my heart, and I mean it in a very endearing way. We'll take that out of context sometimes. I love the stereotypical grumpiness that is my Capricorn. And his Aries moon, he's just full of angst and authority and all of this whatever. And then I am the most unserious person ever. Which he is too. His sense of humor, it's once you pull out fun Chad, he's a silly little goat. But you gotta break through a lot of stoicism to get there. It does not take much for me to break my stoicism. In fact, I kind of feel like it's non-existent. But anyway, so I love this. This goes into my next it's a cosplay shoe. What the fuck am I trying to say? My next collection. That's the word I want. So this is one of my first ones in Detroit. So this is one of the first ones that I had. So I started networking and people were talking to me about different photographers. I was kind of figuring out the Detroit scene or the Southeast Michigan scene. It's not just specifically Detroit, but no one would know what else I'm talking about if I don't say Detroit. So people in that whole area. And this is what the fuck was his real name? It's like Killa Chinchilla is like his new Instagram. Before that, I can't even fucking remember. What the fuck is his name? Not important. He not to talk shit and like whatever, but I don't know how creepy he was to other women, but definitely a problem. Definitely a problem in a variety of different ways. And I would have a lot that I could say that I'm not going to say, but I had a couple of photo shoots with him when I first started connecting to him, kind of more on a friendship level. Ooh, okay. Add to the lore. I was told by my friend, and this is people don't believe me, but fuck you. I knew Tinder could be for hookups, but I was told get Tinder, get Bumble, get all these other things. Go go on bisexual Tinder, and whatever you can find friends, and like even Bumble has like a friend like that's where I met Hannah, the influencer friend that I talked about in a couple of videos, the one who told me to do OnlyFans, and then like talk shit about me for doing it, especially when it blew up, and also when he tells me to clean my camera. But anyway, so I met these people because I was like, I work a lot. I mean, I worked a lot and I work in the healthcare field and a lot of people were a lot older than me when at like a lot of my jobs. Like I was always the youngest. I just didn't feel like there's anyone I could really relate to hang out with, to go out with, to, be young 20 somethings with. And so I did like Tinder and Bumble and all of that shit to find friends. And I might have found this guy through that. Or he found me on Instagram. I don't remember. Either way, doesn't matter. Either way, he was a problem. He was a problem. Whatever. I think every woman has experienced this. And I got out pretty safe. The girl I did who was Spider-Man, Megan, I don't know how well she came out of it. Because I mean she got engaged to this guy. Again, real problem. And the girl who's Gamora, what the fuck was her name? Really bad with names and it's really not personal. But I loved her and her boyfriend was maybe now a fiance, husband. It was a photographer, but we did this. I love cosplay. I always thought that was fun. I wanted to get more involved in like Comic Cons and stuff like that, especially because there's actually like a scene for it in like Detroit area. It wasn't like a big scene for it in Farmington, New Mexico, and there's really no way for me to get involved in it. And a lot of people, even if I tried, they didn't believe that I liked the stuff that I like. I mean, Superman has been my favorite superhero since I was a little girl. I mean, Christopher Reeves, all of that. But then, like, I grew into loving Deadpool for a variety of reasons. And I read some comics, but I didn't get super into comics. And yes, it was a lot about movies, but I was just kind of in this space of I like this character and I like this art and I like what this represents and I identify with a part of it, but have the time, energy, or resources to obsess with it and be an expert at Deadpool, to get all the comics and to do all this. Like there was a time where I did that for Superman when I was really little, and then I kind of outgrew that. That's when I started getting into. I went, Superman, and then I more like Britney Spears, and life was just happening. Like I feel like I didn't have time to perfect into anything because I was too busy worried about my family life for so many different reasons. I mean, by the time I was 9 years old, I went through 3 divorces with my mother and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And like I don't know. So anyway, wanted to get in cosplay, and that's what I think started a lot of this. And so this photographer that I met, however the fuck I met, is it Brendan? Start with a B, maybe? What the fuck is this dude's name? It's gonna kill me. I do remember the blonde in the photos. I'm pretty sure it's Megan. But anyway, so I have a bunch of costumes. I had a Deadpool costume, I had a Venom costume, I had Gamora. I did Gamora. I bought that one for Snowdown, Durango. When I turned 21, I went to Durango for this event that they have called Snowdown. It's big bar hopping party that Durango throws, I should say. And it was intergalactic. And so I was Gamora because why wouldn't I be Gamora? And my friend Kirk, he dressed up. It was really fun. And so anyway, the other girl whose name I can't remember for some fucking reason, she wore my Gamora outfit. I had my Deadpool outfit. And then Megan, it better not be Morgan. I swear to God, I'm pretty sure it's Megan. Anyway, she had the Spider-Man outfit. And this problematic photographer put this all together. We went to downtown Detroit, took photos, like real candid, quirky photos. Like I am in a Deadpool costume with a Batman mug and a Spider-Man comic. You know, like we're really breaking the fourth wall here and having a lot of fun. I ripped my pants, okay, doing a superhero landing. I was being real goofy and I was like, oh, superhero landing, and ripped the ass of my outfit. Very Deadpool, very Sarah, very on brand for me. Because also at the time, I was getting really into powerlifting and I was bulking, and so things weren't quite fitting the same, especially in the derriere area. So it was lots of fun. But there's one photo here that I really like. It was a neon sign, I'm pretty sure for like a hot dog stand restaurant thing. But I put my face up against it, the light, and then the light is causing like my eyes to really water. And there's like some real cool emotion in that photo. And you can't even really tell that I'm wearing my Deadpool outfit or anything, but that was part of the shoot. And I love that photo more than any of the other photos. One, it shows a lot of emotion. It honestly highlights exactly how sad I was at the time. Talk about a fourth wall break. Even though I wasn't crying because I wanted to cry, even though I wanted to. The lights, I feel like were creating that, and like the way my face is and just everything about it. And I think the boyfriend of Gamora, Joker, he had an Instagram that was like Jokester or something. I don't follow them anymore. People, like, here's the thing. I don't tend to unfollow people until they unfollow me or they royally piss me off to some extent. And people usually have 3 strikes. So I know they unfollowed me for God knows what reason. I know I upset a lot of people. I constantly upset people online. I don't know. So anyway, it is what it is. I couldn't I like to give people credit, you know, but I also don't always have all the information. But I also love, I put the Deadpool mask on and I did like the pose on top of a parking structure, and then like this really cool like bridge one where all of us are together. The girls wore heels, which I thought, like, I just had really flat combat boots, which, you know, made sense, but I kind of wish I would have like extra sassed it up. But this was definitely, and a lot of my older shoots, I was talking with a friend because I was healing masculine energies and moving into this more feminine plane. But I feel like certain parts of my art show that masculine side. I've said this a few times. I had a lot of guy friends, one in particular, who would tell me that they loved me for the man that I was. And I feel like there is a deep expression to some of these more masculine representations and expressions of me, and the Deadpool shoots kind of really highlighted that. So here, one second. Sorry, let me check something. But yeah, it was super fun. And in one of the photos you see where I ripped a hole in my pants. God, dude, how many fucking times some fucking motherfucker, my husband being included, who had to remind me, because these are from 2018, 2019. I can't remember. It would have probably been 2018. Well, I had my red. Yeah. Yeah, it was probably towards the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. I mean, it was somewhat cold. I don't remember. I had my fusion, which you see in the one photo. There's me pumping gas, which we thought was just like really fun. But so many fucking people, every time like if I reshared the Deadpool photo or whatever it was, everyone has to remind me, hey, do you realize that we can see your butt right there? You have a hole in your pants. I'm like, yeah, this is old news, people. I did a superhero landing and I ripped my pants. So let's move on. But of course, I get it. People who weren't there, who don't know, not everyone was my lore, but God, it was just one of those things because it was, there's my husband who did it, but it was never anyone except some creepy middle-aged dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I think, what bothered me about it, which, hey, my husband is 10 years older than me, so we can group him in to the creepy. Just kidding. I love my husband. Poor guy. Um, no one take that too seriously. But yeah, he definitely was was one of them. Like, just so you know, I'm like, I know where all y'all are looking. Which of course, why wouldn't you look there? Especially back then. Fabulous ass. That the best thing Colorado thing ever did for me. So yeah, that was the Deadpool shoot. Like I said, I just really love cosplay. I would love to do better cosplay. Like these were obviously like cheap, not really cheap, but spirit Halloween costumes. You know, I would love like a legit Deadpool suit, like Hollywood movie suit. That would be probably insanely expensive, but I kind of don't care. I kind of like the idea of things being cheap and cringy and DIY, you know? Like, it's cool to have like a whole Hollywood cinematic set and outfit and design. Oh, big stretch, boys. That was a real big stretch. But there is also something really fun about these kind of corny and cheesy moments when you're obviously wearing a polyester spirit Halloween outfit and and still making it art, but I do think like a nice legit one would be really fucking cool. I would love to get like bougie with the cosplay. um which I haven't done very much cosplay. That was something that kind of got ruined. Not just for like, again, I don't care about like the sexualization of it to an extent, but it just became um it became a fetish thing with certain people in my life, and I didn't like that. Hey, I'm talking. I told you no squeaking. No, thank you. You can chew on your other foot. No, no squeaking. No squeak toy. Anyway, rude. Rudely interrupting me. Where was I? Maybe you were stopping me from saying something. Who knows? But yeah, it got weird where it wasn't about again, like all of these moments in the fashion world and in these creative projects. I understand making them sexy. I understand making them beautiful. And there is that intention. I would get really turned off when that kind of became like the only focus. And with this photographer in particular, obviously just the average guy with a camera who's a boudoir photographer because, he's real chill and artistic. I mean, these were artistic photos. He did have some creative concepts, which is why he like scathed under the radar so much, where other creepy photographers you see right away. It's easier to see than some. Um, but yeah, it was just all about the sexualization of everything and not so much about the fun, which is like in this shoot, there is like some sexiness to it that you can see. But a lot of what I did was I was just being fun in my Deadpool outfit. And there is like a unseriousness behind a lot of my shoots, even when they are serious or deeply moving or emotional. I like to not take the photo shoot too seriously when I'm in the photo shoot. Like I want it to be fun and I guess kind of like actors who like have a serious scene and then they're saying some serious shit and then they break character and they start laughing. Very much me. I'm a giggle bot. And so then when it like, I don't know, they're like, "Oh, well, this, like, really quirky whatever isn't overly sexy. We need you to be more this. We need you to be more that." I'm like, "Dude, I'm in a fucking spirit Halloween costume." Like, I don't know why we're taking all of this, like, so seriously. And so I kinda stepped away from cosplaying, but I would love to get into it more, but I would love to be more involved in the designing side of, like, the fit, creating the outfit, and that's why it ties in so nicely to my Goblin King like visions. Like these are things like if people give me a theme, like if people give me a Deadpool theme and I just kind of with more like Wade Wilson, who is Deadpool, but not in a Deadpool outfit, whatever. Like, there's so much more fun and creative spectrum that you can tap into. And when that gets lost, that's usually when I tend to like, oh, this is not the right crowd. This is not what I thought it was. And whatever else. Despite what it may look like or what people think, I don't care about being a pretty girl on the internet that gets a bunch of likes. I just want to do fun, weird things all the time. Like people were like, it was shock value to see us like dressed up that way. But I also don't like that social media culture where people are doing weird things in public. There's a fine line that I try to walk, and it's real specific, and that's probably deeply Aquarian in particular of me, but there is a fine line of eccentricity that I will walk, and anything outside of that, I'm out. And I just fuck right off. I don't care if other people do what they're gonna do. Not my life. But you want to know my opinion, if you want to know how I feel about it, if you want to know what I will do for myself, I will tap into something that just barely tips over my very fine line and I just fuck right on off. So that's where I've been at with a lot of these photo shoots and things. But yeah, so that is my Deadpool photo shoot, which was a lot of fun. I missed that. Maybe there will be more cosplay in the future. But until then, enjoy this version of it and enjoy all of my Goblin King attires for now.